My name's Kieran. I am a marathon runner, ultra runner. I've done well over 50 marathons. I've done about 15 ultras. I also once ran the entire way across Europe, did 67 marathons in 67 days along the River Danube. When it comes to fitness watches and fitness trackers, one of the questions that I get asked most often is, Kieran, which one of these should I buy? The answer really is the one that's best for you. So we have got a selection of watches here across the price range. Amazfit Active 2, that starts at around £90. We've got the Huawei Watch Fit Pro, which is a bit up the price range. The Garmin Vivoactive 6, the Apple Watch Series 11, and then finally we have got the Whoop MG. And finding the best fitness tracker and fitness watch for you is about dialing into your priorities and what these watches do. So the Vivoactive 6 that I've got on here, this is actually a really solid running watch. Got a nice kind of light, easy strap. The screen, AMOLED screen here, is nice and bright. The optical heart rate and GPS accuracy, another key thing when you're looking for a good fitness watch, has been nicely reliable. It's not entirely infallible. There are times where the heart rate might spike, but overall it's put in a good consistent performance. You're going to be able to see the impact of all that training you're doing with VO2 Max. You can also dig deep into things like your sleep tracking. It has Garmin's body battery, so you'll be able to see the energy that you're kind of burning during the day, not just from doing your workouts, but also from all that other sort of stuff that's going on in life, those daily stresses. And then another really useful tool is suggested workouts. It will give you an indication of various different workouts you do based on your sleep and your overnight recovery and where you're at in the morning at that moment. You're going to get a battery life here that is a little better than you're going to get from most smartwatches. So what you've got here with the Garmin Vivoactive 6 is basically a watch that balances kind of that all-day wearability, some smartwatch tools, not as capable as a full-on smartwatch, great fitness tracking for all different kinds of workouts, pretty good accuracy on GPS and heart rate. It's a nice compact watch with a big bright AMOLED screen, and it's got quite a sweet spot price as well. So if you're starting out, this one might well be one to look at. So next up, we've got the Apple Watch Series 11. This is the latest in Apple's series line of watches. It is a good fitness tracker, it's a great smartwatch, and this one is going to come in around $369, $370. It's obviously a smartwatch that does a lot of fitness tracking. What you've got is a watch that is slick, it's slim, it's easy to wear, it's very kind of premium in terms of the materials. It's one of the better looking watches. It plugs nicely into the Apple Watch Fitness Plus universe automatically. You're getting a watch that's brilliant at taming daily life, but also has some really good capability when it comes to running. It's some nice customization within your kind of workout screens. You can have, I think, up to 6 metrics on screen, so you can tailor those. And you've got a really nice, bright, sizable screen here. Makes looking at all your stats mid-workout really easy to do. Presents all of those post-workout stats really well as well. The visuals are great. It's good to use maps on this. All of those things come to life on what is a really bright, punchy, super responsive screen. You're probably going to get around a day and a half on a single charge. Single stint, you'll get through a marathon. Beyond that, you're going to have it back on charge. There is a rapid charge feature though that does iron out some of that. It will charge to 80% pretty quickly, so you can even that out, but this is going to give you a lower battery life than some of those other dedicated fitness watches. If you're looking for a fitness tracker, the kind of heroes being a smartwatch first and does your fitness as well, then the Apple Watch Series 11 is going to be the one to go for. In my opinion, it's kind of the best smartwatch for fitness going, unless you upgrade to the Apple Watch Ultra 3 if your budget stretches, where you're going to get a bigger battery life and a bit more capability. But for most people, that kind of sweet spot of price, wearability, how it feels on the wrist, all of those things, the Apple Watch Series 11 is going to be great. Basically, this is a smartwatch first, fitness tracker second, but if you want that combination, that killer package of smartwatch tools and fitness tracking in one easy package, then it's hard to beat the Apple Watch Series 11. So I've now got the Amazfit Active 2 on my wrist. This watch is a super budget option, comes in well under £100. It's got some classic watch styling with a big round kind of screen, a nice bright AMOLED display. You're going to get loads and loads of workout tracking for running, for cycling. You've got offline maps, which at this price doesn't often happen. You normally have to go way higher up the food chain to get those. So the navigation on this watch is great. On the flip side of that, the smartwatch tools are really widespread as well. There's lots of them. Amazfit is basically trying to cram in as much value as possible to compete with those bigger brands because it's kind of a newcomer. The materials are not quite so premium. It does come in a little bit plastic, but it does avoid feeling too cheap. It is really wearable as well. That's the flip side to that. Because the materials are light, it feels good on the wrist. One thing you do have to factor in here with the Amazfit though is the fact that although it's really feature rich, some of those features aren't necessarily 100% reliable. They can be a bit fallible. The software isn't really as slick as you'll get from those kind of more established brands like Garmin. It can fall down. The maps is one of those where it's just a bit fiddly to use. But at the price point, if you can let that go, then you are going to get a lot of watch here. One thing I'm not so keen on, you've got a tuck under strap here. So to fasten it, you have to tuck the little tail underneath. That can be a bit pinchy on the skin. It's really fiddly to put on. Not my favourite. There's a Zepp partner app to go with this. Within that, you have got Zepp Coach, which is an AI-powered coach that will help you hit your training goals. Again, that's something you might not expect for such a cheap price. Can be handy. Once you finish working out, you're going to get all of those kind of really important metrics from VO2 max, race time predictions. You're going to get your kind of sleep scores. There is like a daily equivalent of stress and fatigue, which is a bit like Garmin's body battery. All of those things that look at your overall holistic health are going to be here as well. On battery life, this is good. You're going to get 21 hours GPS, which is, beats most smartwatches, will beat the Apple Watch Series 11. You are going to get a 10-day sort of general use battery life as well. So that is pretty solid from the watch as well. So the Amazfit Active 2, this is a brilliant budget fitness watch come smartwatch. It's got a huge range of features. You're going to make some compromises on some of the reliability of some of those features, but you're going to really struggle to find a watch at this price point that offers the breadth and depth of the tracking and the smartwatch firepower. Okay, so next up we have got the Whoop MG. This one comes in around 349. Difference here is this is a screenless tracker. You have to do everything through the smartphone app. Let's go check it out. So the major difference with the Whoop MG is the fact this doesn't have a screen. So the idea is that you can put the Whoop on, it kind of works in the background, tracks everything you'll do during the day, and then gives you sort of 3 key points of information. It will give you a strain score, which is how much load you've basically put on your body through the day. It will tell you your recovery, and then it'll also track your sleep. Perhaps the things that most people use the Whoop for though is the strain score. So the strain score is basically an estimation of how much load you've put on your body during the day and during your workouts. The really interesting stat I find with the Whoop is the pre-workout strain score. So we'll look at what you've been doing over the week, and then just before you go and start your workout, it'll give you a little insight into how much strain you should put into your body during that workout. This is there to help sort of you avoid doing overtraining, working too hard, pushing yourself too hard, which is how I feel right now, blowing a little bit. There's a rather complicated pricing structure when it comes to Whoop. On the basic structure, you're going to get all those things like sleep, heart rate variability, you're going to get recovery time, those things, but there are some things that are squirreled away behind a much pricier kind of premium tier. So one of those stats that is squirreled away behind the premium subscription is something called Whoop Age. Now this is a stat that is trying to assess whether or not you're aging faster or slower than your actual biological age. I'm not sure all of us need to know that though. Whoop is heavily reliant on the accuracy of that optical heart rate sensor that's built in here, strapped to your wrist. And I have found the accuracy to be sometimes a bit hit and miss. You're going to get around 14 days on a single charge. There's also a little clip-on battery charger, which means you can extend it much further really easily as well on the move if you're traveling. The other really nice touch I think here is after you've done your workouts, or at the end of the day, there is a journaling tool that lets you tick a load of things from coffee to alcohol to whether you went to bed late, which helps you build up an overall picture of your trends and see how that lifestyle decisions are impacting your stats as well. Within the app, you're going to get great things like sleep, recovery, strain. Those are the main 3 areas that Whoop covers. You can also see all of your individual activities that are tracked. You can see sleep here, give you your recommended bedtimes, which are really handy. That's based on how well you slept last night and also what you've been doing during the day. So it will sort of tell you how much kip you need to get. And all of these subjective things I think are really useful when it comes to painting an overall picture of your lifestyle choices and how they're going to impact your stats in here. So there's some of you in it, not just the data. So the final one we're going to test here, we've got the Huawei Watch Fit Pro. This one is going to come in around 179, so it's kind of towards the cheaper end of the fitness trackers. It's like a half sort of hybrid smartwatch fitness tracker as well. What you've got here is a big, bright, really nice 3000 nit AMOLED screen, which has got really good screen real estate. There's loads of room for your stats. It's very easy to read. It's not too bulky, very easy to wear 24/7. And probably where the Huawei Watch Fit Pro stands out is in health. It does everything outside of your kind of workouts. If you want to see how those workouts are impacting on your overall health, that's where the Huawei Watch Fit Pro really comes into its own. You've got something called a a clover, and it's looking at not only your workouts but your sleep, your movement, all of these things in a kind of holistic way. And the idea is to close the clovers to make sure that you're ticking off all the really key bits. This I think will go for 10 days. It's got a good sort of single stint GPS battery life, so if you're looking to track things like a marathon or a longer cycle ride, that is going to work as well. It'll do all of the basics really nicely, and then after the workout you're going to get most of your major kind of performance insights ticked off, things like VO2 max, recovery time, all of those things are also covered. There is ECG on this watch as well, so you can track kind of heart health in a more detailed way. You have got dual frequency accuracy boosting GPS, and the GPS performance was pretty solid across most of the testing that I've done, including in urban areas. It performs better when you've got big open skies. The heart rate accuracy, like most opticals, wasn't 100%. It copes with steady efforts really nicely. It struggles a bit when you start to big changes of intensity, so if you're really pushing doing interval workouts, or you're pushing faster sections of your run and ride, it can struggle a little bit. If navigation is important to you and you like the additional kind of visibility of seeing where you're going on a map on your screen, then that is a big tick here for £180. This does have some durability boosting features like a toughened sapphire display and a titanium bezel that makes it a bit more knock proof. A couple of things I wasn't so keen on. One is the software in the app. It's a little bit cluttered. There's a lot going on. It's not as kind of easy to read, particularly if you're a bit uninitiated. It's not great for beginners. There's also dozens and dozens of opt-ins on the watch. Every time you try and dive into a stat, you have to tick an opt-in for some reason. Don't know why. In terms of sort of apps, third-party apps to really bolster what the Watch Fit 4 Pro does, there is a limit. You're not going to match the availability and the smorgasbord that you get from the Apple Watch Series 11 or maybe a Google Pixel watch here. So third-party apps to make this watch even better, somewhat limited. So while the Watch Fit 4 Pro is a capable workout tracker, it's got good smartwatch tools. The kind of real upside of this watch is really what it does in terms of looking at your overall health and how all of that fitness activity might have benefited your heart health, your sleep, your recovery, and all of those things. So with the Watch Fit 4 Pro, what you're going to get here is a slimline watch for £180, packed full of features, really nice bright AMOLED screen, lots of health tracking, maybe more than pure play fitness tracking. It's not a performance watch. Essentially, it's going to look at how your health is and how your workouts impact that everyday health. For our best buy then, we have got the Garmin Vivoactive 6. The reason we've chosen this at the top is for that all-round package. You're getting some good smartwatch skills in a slick, easy to wear, stylish package that does fitness tracking well, maybe not as good as some of the top end sports trackers, but enough for most people's needs. You've got good accuracy, really nice wearability at a price that is kind of right there in the sweet spot. Then moving on to our best value, and this is the Amazfit Active 2. This one comes in with a cracking amount of features, huge range of tracking firepower, smartwatch features, daily tools, good battery life, pretty good GPS accuracy and heart rate, and that's all for a really, really good price, under £100. You're not going to get more firepower in a fitness tracker than that for that price. Then if you're more interested in what happens kind of when you're not working out and you want something that's not going to be interruptive, that just sits in the background, does automatic workout tracking, looks at how that workout is affecting your kind of daily life, then you're going to go to the Whoop. This one, strain, recovery, sleep tracking, it does all of that really well. Probably the best in the business for looking at a holistic picture. And if you want to have that sort of simplified way of looking at things without being barked at by a screen on the wrist all the time, then the Whoop is the way to go. Into smartwatch territory, if you're looking for a smartwatch that really nails all the daily life-taming tools, but is also a really capable fitness tracker, then the Apple Watch Series 11 is it. It does have a shorter battery life, but for running, for cycling, for swimming, for all that core fitness tracking, plugging into Apple's fitness world with Apple Fitness Plus as well, good heart rate accuracy, good GPS accuracy, really nice wearability, really good slick looks, at a pretty good price point. This is the watch to go for. It's the best fitness smartwatch you're going to get. Then if you want something that does a lot of what the Apple Watch does, has also pretty premium looks and design, it's still nice and thin, nice and wearable, nice bright AMOLED screen which is easy to read, but comes in with a lot of those kind of smartwatch tools just at a cheaper price, then you've got the Huawei Watch Fit 4 Pro, packing a lot of fitness tracking firepower, not quite as kind of all-encompassing when it comes to the apps, but you've got offline mapping if you need navigation for your fitness exploits, and pretty good heart rate and GPS tracking too, all in a pretty neat package. And again, at a price which is really much kind of more affordable than many of those sort of top tier smartwatches. So no matter what your needs and priorities, there is a fitness tracker out there for you. If it wasn't on this list, there are another set of watches that have been tested over on Telegraph Recommended. Go and check those out.